What's going on, everybody? Today I got my test pack of sandpaper in here, and this is supposed to be good for wet dry and good for metal. And what I have here is 3 sheets apiece of 120 grit all the way through 3000 grit. So I'm going to take this chunk of a railroad spike and I'm going to wrap it around there in little sections and work on this knife right here, which you've seen before. I've done a lot of grinding on it, but I was holding out to figure out how I could improve it, and I figured this would be a good chance to mess around with it. Now, what I've done here is I've taken this vise, and it's locked in place with that pin, and there are nails. This vise is really removable. It can be taken off and set to the side when I don't want it on my anvil stand. I've taken this little wedge right here and these 2 pieces of cheap knockoff leather from Hobby Lobby and wedge this thing in so it ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to work on this, and it's going to take me a little while. So I figured I'd show you some shots of what's happening here, because this is my first try at doing this. Maybe something good will come out of it, maybe something won't. We'll see. And yeah. So we'll be back in a minute, and I'll give you some shots of me working through 400, and then I'll hold off until I get to some of the higher grits, and we'll come back, and hopefully this will be a pretty short and sweet video. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm back. I see a lot of guys use Windex when they're doing this, and I have a huge bottle of glass cleaner concentrate I picked up at Home Depot in one of these spray bottles, which means the cost per bottle is like, I don't know, 15-20 cents. And I didn't feel like my setup for holding the blade was janky enough, so we got this plastic vise locked down in this vise, and the leather's now in those teeth. And before long, that leather is going to be epoxied in place so it can't go anywhere, because this is a very secure setup. But I'm going to start off at 320 grit. That seems to be a good place, and we'll start working on it and see what happens. And here I've got it wrapped around this spike. And yeah, it's really biting in here and doing a good job of getting this cleaned up. I think I'm going to see if I can't define the bevel a little bit more too while I'm at it, and see if that doesn't get me somewhere. Okay, so here's the side with the 400 grit finish off of the belt grinder. That's off the 2x72. This is where I've gotten in just that short time with the 320 grit. I'm going to keep going with this for a while until I've got like a nice clean satin-ass finish. And I'll come back later when I'm in the higher grits and things are looking a little bit more intact. Okay, so I'm on to 400 grit, and I've been here for a hot minute now. Couple things I've discovered. First off, this vise setup is actually really good, even though it looks janky as hell. It's been treating me really well so far, so I'm enjoying that. This headless railroad spike has been a wonderful sanding block, which is also good news. And right now I'm just busy trying to chase off a batch of hairline scratches back in here, and they are moving so slowly. I wish they'd just go away. To quote Walter Sorrells, if you enjoy hand sanding, there's something fundamentally wrong with you as a person. But this has made some really good sanding fluid. So onward we march. And I've been changing directions on a pretty regular basis. This is kind of like when I was doing super high gloss CA finishes. You change directions to help clean your grain up, help clean up scratch marks, stuff like that. And also, something that I was informed of through watching someone else's video is at some point, if you keep going in the same direction, all the grit on your sandpaper just falls into the cracks that you created or the little grooves you created, and it stops cutting. It just rides along those grooves. So I've been switching back and forth from small elliptical circles to straight back and forth. Really trying to chase out the last of these scratches so that the rest of the grits go a lot easier. I'm probably not going to make y'all sit here and watch me go through all the grits, and I'm not going to do it all tonight. You know, I just wanted to upload a 5-minute video just to show y'all I am definitely trying to tackle something that's, I guess, felt like it was out of my league for a long time. But after watching so many other people hand sand their stuff and seeing how straightforward a process it is, I finally broke down and figured I'd give it a try. And I'm also trying to do this on a very tight budget of 1 sheet of sandpaper per grit, because I've only got 3 sheets of sandpaper in each grit, and I'd like to have them last longer than a knife. And even with those elliptical circles, those scratches are still there, so I'm going to be at this for a long time. It is what it is. This is hand sanding. Either way, I think that'll be it for today's video. I'm just going to keep doing this for a while until I get bored and go upstairs and watch some TV. So until next time, praise the forge and pass the borax.